Welcome to the 2024 Economic Depression and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday, June 30th, 2024 edition, the last day of June, the last day of the second quarter of this year. We're heading toward the last half of this year with 7 months remaining, and things of this U.S. economy is looking stagnant. Right now, things are looking pretty good in terms of people hanging on, trying to adjust, cutting back. Americans are cutting back on spending on vacations and different things to try to make ends meet as we continue to struggle in this inflationary economy. But this is just worldwide. It's in America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Oceania. Everywhere you look, prices are up, and the salaries are not keeping up as they should be. The good news is that prices didn't rise last month, according to CNN Business. However, there's still work to be done in this economy, as you all know. So we're going to get right into it. Thank you for listening. This is Preach to Me channel, and thank you for being loyal subscribers. Appreciate all your support and comments. Right now, we have the report out by the housing market. The Bank of America warns that the housing market is stuck until at least 2026. So they're going beyond the 2024 elections into 2026. And what they blame it on is a combination of people who got low interest rate housing the last 3 to 4 years here. I mean, we had people were getting interest rates 2.5, 3.0, 3.5. Some even got 2.0% interest rates on 30-year fixed mortgages back before the pandemic, or just before, 2020, 2021, 2019. Those people are not interested in selling their homes and moving to, downsizing or moving to a bigger house somewhere else. And it says right here, the mortgage rate for people who already own is historically low, and the rate for new buyers is elevated. Obviously, new buyers is getting 6, 7, 8%. If you have good credit. If you don't, then you're getting it higher than that. Bank of America doesn't think that this gap will shrink much for years. So it's going to take years for this to play out. As you know, we're going to have a situation where housing affordability is becoming a major problem in America, as I talked about in previous videos. And it's going to be crazy because it's so weird the time we're in, because housing prices are going up. Housing interest rates are staying, steady or going up, ticking up a little bit. But inventory, and we still have this supply crunch. Housing is still needed. We have all these people coming into the country, whether legally or illegally, and they're going to need somewhere to stay, unfortunately. And so it's an unaffordable time to buy a home, in this kind of economy. If you do buy, then you want to buy something multifamily, multi-generational, of course, where 3 or 4 you guys can put together and live together, as they do a lot in the Eastern world, not so much in the Western world. But that may be something to look at. That may be a viable option, because right now, the median price of a previously owned U.S. home climbed in May for the 11th month in a row to a record $419,300. But it's not just home prices. It's car prices that are coming that are high. New pickup trucks are now running $90,000 to $100,000 if we get it topped out there for a basic truck. You may be able to get a used truck for $50K, $40K, maybe out at an auction or somewhere. But these high prices are locked in to persist, and these high mortgages and these high rates. If you do, now the only thing that's going to hurt those who don't have, who got those low interest rates, is that the insurance and taxes, the property taxes, insurances, and taxes like that are going to go up. But you can handle that if it's not going to be too high. It's not going to be over a 30% increase. So that's good news for those of us who already bought something before the pandemic or during the first year of the pandemic. And so that's what we got going on. But U.S. prices didn't rise last month, according to CNN Business, for the first time since November. So they give us some good news here. Okay, the prices stayed the same, but the prices were so elevated, and a lot of this has to do with greed. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a supply crunch anymore. The ships are not stuck in the Suez Canal anymore. We don't have shipping problems blocking the bridges or the barges. It's just a lot of this has to do with greed. They're making up money for when the shops are closed, because you have to remember, you and I know that both, ladies and gentlemen, that the shops that were open were the monopoly shops, like Amazon. People ordering on Amazon. Costco, Target, Walmart. Everything else was shut down, right? All the small mom and pop shops were shut down. So they were capitalizing, making a great profit. Much to the chagrin of the mom and pop stores and the local small businesses that are actually employing people in the neighborhood. And so now it's just greed. They don't want to bring the price back down, because they see that people have no other choice but to go to these stores. I mean, I guess you could go to a farmer's market or, some small stores. But, most people are going to go for convenience, like Walmart or Target, would have everything there, and they can get or Aldi or Safeway or Costco or any of the name stores around the country and stores. And so that's what we have going on here. Now, one good caveat so far too is also gas prices hadn't increased by that much. They're still around $3.60 a gallon nationwide for unleaded. However, I know people are paying higher than that in California and other places in Texas and stuff, but that's gonna increase because, like I said, we haven't got past July the 4th and all that stuff there. But so far, we've been doing pretty good, ladies and gentlemen, on that. So that's the good news. The bad news is that the prices are still rising. They didn't rise that much last month, but that doesn't mean the way that they spend this article, it doesn't mean that it's going away. Obviously, it's going to be here past November. High prices is going to be here through next year. And it's just going to be a long haul. Like I said, this recession is a marathon, not a sprint. But one thing that's going to keep going up is stocks. Look, no inflation and no recession set stocks up for a summer stunner. Now we got stocks of roaring 20s, as they call it. Same thing, ironically. We got stock market that's going to go up. But don't be alarmed, ladies and gentlemen. The same thing happened in Venezuela, Greece, Turkey, Lebanon, Greece, Turkey, Lebanon, Sri Lanka. All of the economies melted up. So the same thing is going to happen with the U.S. economy. It's going to melt up before a crash comes, before reality sets in, and stocks are just paper. It's just digits on the screen. It's digital, just like your money is mostly digital now. It's nothing, not much actual cash is being transacted. It's all digits, all wire transfers, all on the screen. And so this is what we're dealing with, and so the sectors that are going to be most affected by this is going to be the real hardcore sectors on Main Street, unfortunately for us, that we always have to bear the brunt, the 99%. And that's going to be in hospitality, transportation, utilities, manufacturing, white collar jobs, some blue collar jobs as the trades. People are not going to be spending the extra money to renovate their bathroom or renovate their kitchen or whatever, so those things are going to be taking a hit, unfortunately, as we head through next year. And you're going to see this more and more of that. It's going to be closing. So stocks will go up, everything's will have to go up. And that's also a sign that your dollar, the US dollars, it's not so much losing value, but it's losing purchasing power. It takes more dollars to get the same goods. And that's the problem that I have with it, with this economy, is that we have no economy because everything is overvalued, and nothing is actual, real, tangible value is being manufactured in a lot of these cities, a lot of these big cities, small cities, mid-sized cities. And so this is what we're going towards. We're going to a technocratic automation, taking jobs, technology taking jobs from all Americans, not just Americans in the South or in the North or in the Midwest or West. It's taking technology and automation is going to hurt all Americans across the board, as you can already see, because companies don't want to pay not just pensions, they don't want to pay health care, they don't want to pay all these costs. They can get a robot that doesn't complain and doesn't file grievances and doesn't have to pay retirement and doesn't have to pay take out taxes, and they can just do that. They can go all day long with that, and you see that with big companies like Amazon and the warehouses or whatever, and other places too. So just something to consider. But in the meantime, enjoy your summer. We're heading into school. School was ended for most people. Summertime is here. Enjoy your 4th of July. We still have a lot of freedoms and a lot to be thankful for that God has blessed us with. And spiritually, I think that this country, we're heading into a Babylon type situation. But the good news is that there's still a lot of Americans out there that believe and are taking the necessary precautions spiritually to survive this thing, because that's what's going to come down to. It's a spiritual battle too, in terms of good versus evil, and God's on your side as long as we do diligence, as long as we're consistently praying, consistently working while it's still summer, and the harvest, will still harvest to be gathered. Remember the squirrels and the ants, they gather harvest while still day. We have to do the same and be diligent. Whatever we have, whatever 2 cents we have, put it together and be diligent in the community, and outside the community. So God bless. I'll talk to you very soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll get more earnings and news as we get into the third quarter after July the 4th and all of that. Thank you for listening.